Okay. This is an important lesson in how to overcome self-doubt and build something called self-trust. And I will explain the details of how you can develop that self-trust in a moment. But first, let's look at self-doubt and what doubt actually is. So, doubt, look at it for yourself, right? What would you say is doubt? And just speak out loud or write down or just mentally come up with what is your definition of doubt? And how does doubt feel? Like second guessing yourself, not being fully clear, okay? Now I'll elaborate on what is doubt actually. So doubt, right? Okay, words are so much more important than you probably realize. Words actually make up the world around us, but that's a future audio. Doubt, the root of the word doubt, okay? The root, where the word comes from, is the Latin word duo. You've probably heard that word before, duo, like two, okay? Why would the word doubt have the same root as the word double? Why would it have the same, okay? Really look at that. Now, I'll explain it. Doubt means you're entertaining two different pathways forward instead of just one where it's certain, right? One, full speed ahead, certainty. And doubt can actually be a teacher. Doubt can be a gift. I'll explain that again in a moment. But for right now, let's look at doubt. Where does doubt come from? Doubt actually comes from a lack of education. It comes from inequality, right? You seeing yourself as not equal to the task at hand, not equal to another person. You begin to doubt yourself. And when you have doubt, there's a phrase, doubt will sink a ship. So we better get this doubt handled ASAP. Otherwise, everything you're doing is going to actually fall apart. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that because I'm being kind, and I've seen it happen in my life and in many others' lives. That doubt will actually sink a whole ship. Doubt will keep you stuck in a spiral, or what I call a time loop, for potentially a decade. Years and years and years, months and months and months, you will be stuck. And there's a way through it, right? That's what we'll get to in a moment when we get to self-trust. But we really got to analyze what is doubt and where is it coming from, and how do you prevent it from happening, or how can you actually redefine doubt? Because that would be the best way forward. So doubt comes from a lack of education, meaning if you're doubting something, it just means you don't understand something. Because when you understand the task at hand, you can then use common sense and reason to then do what you have to do. You might have to listen to this audio multiple times because this is really, really important. Okay, next. After you now start to realize this point of doubt is a teacher, that means within doubt, you're now able to see that there's two ways forward, and you don't have full clarity. You don't have full understanding of what to do. So look at a situation in your life. Let's say you want to improve your life. You want to be a better person and have better relationships, but you kind of doubt yourself that you can do it. Well, why would you doubt yourself? Oh, well, it's because you don't understand how to have an effective relationship. You don't actually understand specifically how you can have and maintain, for the long run, a really, really good relationship. How can you communicate with someone? How can you balance your emotions? How can you balance the ups and downs? How can you be on the same page, be in agreement, have harmony? All that stuff, right? All of that, you got to have a baseline of general education, meaning you have understanding. You can comprehend what that is. So now, if you do have that though, right, this is what happens. This is what opens up. Because, again, no more doubt. No more two options. Use the other options, right? You kind of being split as, oh, that's where I got to learn. That's where I got to grow. Okay, let's say now you just realize, I don't actually trust myself to have a good relationship because I've never seen a good relationship. I've never seen two people actually having effective conflict, effective problem resolution, effective intimacy, effective keeping that passion, that enjoyment for each other, keeping that alive, right? That would be a classic example of where you have doubt, and All you need is that education, okay? And guess what happens when you then build that education? Meaning, you do a few things. One, you get connected with people who actually have that successfully. Like, okay, if you're taking relationship advice from someone who's not in a proven, successful relationship, you're not gonna get the information that's gonna help you get that. Even if the person is in an effective relationship, right? Even if they already have that, you also may not get the truth, because people have something, it's called unconscious competence. They're unconscious, meaning they're unaware, but they're competent, meaning they can do it. They're unaware that they can actually do it. They're unaware of how they do it, I should say. They're unaware of what they're doing that's actually making the relationship work and thrive and grow and expand, and it's fun and all that. So that is what we have to now look at is, one, if you're trying and attempting to have a good relationship, one, you got to be connected to people. You got to be connected to the right people who can help you do that. Next, you got to go through and comb through and look through all the BS in your mind. So there's a couple tools I would recommend for that. One is this course called DIP Light. You can take it for free, and it allows you to go back through, look at your memories, and then begin the process of what's called self-forgiveness. Because right now you're probably accepting and allowing a bunch of stuff that's not actually helping you. And so the self-forgiveness writing process is a way where you can actually handle and let go of and change and rewire that understanding of why you were doubting stuff in the first place. So then you can just have certainty, and then you develop something called SelfTrust. Now, one other piece, there's a tool called TechnoTutor. And if you haven't actually seen it for yourself or talked to someone who really knows what they're talking about, you're not going to comprehend what it is. But I'll do my best here to at least give you a little bit of a sneak peek. TechnoTutor is a way where you can go in and get that stuff that's stuck inside you, those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions, the faulty logic that you have. Like, when I say the word relationship, what immediately pops in your mind? There's probably 3, 4, 5 things that come in your mind. Or maybe you have a thought of your parents' relationship. Maybe you have the thought of, feel like I'm stuck, feel like commitment. Maybe you have an image in your mind pops up of a happy couple walking on the beach together, holding each other's hands. Maybe you have an image of Valentine's Day. Maybe the word relationship, you just think of family. Either way, no matter what your answer was, is that image or that idea in your mind came from stuff that was programmed into you at a young age when you weren't even aware of it. That's what TechnoTutor helps you clear up. You have emotions. It's like an emotional polarity. It's like a charge to these words. Some are positive. Most of them are negative, and they don't feel good. And automatically that stuff comes up. There's many words I could say right now, or phrases or concepts I could say on here that would trigger you. Okay? And you would feel some type of way. That is the stuff that you would use TechnoTutor to clean up. Because when you can do that, you can actually then separate yourself from the emotions. You're still going to feel emotion. Doesn't mean you're going to be a robot with no feeling at all. And actually, I'll make a future audio on what a robot actually is and what it means to react to stuff. But let's just say it like this. When you can now go through and word by word, concept by concept, redefine it, reprogram it, right? Check the program. See, is this getting me the result I want, or is it not? Right? Am I still experiencing doubt? Am I still lacking understanding? Oh, okay, cool. That's what you'd use TechnoTutor for to change that. And I'm going to say that's an essential piece. I know it's an essential piece. Just the way I say it, you might just react to me even just saying that, because most people are triggered by people having certainty, even though I have certainty and I have verifiable proof. That would take you hours and hours and hours and hours to even go through. And that is why I can say with certainty that these 3 things I said, all of them combined, TechnoTutor, the DIP, the writing, and the relationships, that's going to help you develop this thing that deep down is one of the most important things you could ever develop for yourself that you probably never actually had or never had to a full ability in your life. And that is self-trust. Okay? Self-trust. Now, what is self-trust, right? Self-trust is knowing that even if you trip and fall, you're going to get back up and you're going to keep going. Self-trust is realizing that you have limitations and you're still messed up because your first 7 years of your life, you were not programmed effectively. You spent years and years, probably decades of your life in non-supportive environments. Self-trust is realizing that you can then see that, deal with that, and then you can actually create the best outcome. Not just best for you, but best for every person, including yourself. That right there, that is powerful. Self-trust is like me with my now wife at the very beginning of our relationship, me going over to her apartment one day, realizing we need to be together, and me just facing that full on, no longer accepting any of the doubt, and just saying, I'm making the decision, that's it, period, we're going to be together. And then I sold her on the idea. It didn't take much selling. But, she had a few little minor objections toward, that I had to handle. But that is self-trust, right? Me showing up and saying, we're going to freaking figure this thing out. And that is profound because guess what? That started our relationship on the strongest foot. And to this day, we're still reaping the benefits of that. That's like planting a seed in really, really, really good soil in the perfect spot where there's enough sunshine and rain and all of that, and that seed grows into the most amazing plant or tree, and it bears fruit that then goes on to spread and spread and spread. Now, that's what effective self-trust can do for you. But if you've never planted seeds effectively in your life, where you could prove to me, like you could make your own audio explaining the seeds you planted correctly and explain it to someone where they would agree, oh yeah, you actually did it right. If you haven't done that before, you never really experienced self-trust. So that's what I want to help you to realize is worthy of looking at. This audio cannot instill self-trust in you. I can share stories. I can help you realize that, hey, it's possible to also get and use these tools. And if you are using these tools, I'm going to encourage you to keep going, right? And use it even more effectively with self-honesty and self-directive will. And that will help you create the situations and the environments so that your self-trust can grow. But self-trust comes in those moments when you don't want to go do the damn thing. But you trust yourself to get the job done, and then you just go do it. Right? Self-trust is me and Jessica moving into a home that is way more than we thought we could handle. Having a homestead, having 10 acres of land, having animals, having a lot of responsibility, a lot of money going out every month, and us being able to look at each other and go, I trust myself. She goes, I trust myself. Great. Let's do it. And then we just agree, and then we create, right? There's that phrase, I believe it comes from the Bible, it probably comes from somewhere else too, is 2 or more in my name. And you got to look at this with a lot of discernment, right? Because some of you will go, 2 or more in my name. Okay, great. I can just magically change. That's not how it works. But when you have 2 or more in my name, and by that I would say 2 or more with self-awareness, realizing who you really are, that you're both creators and you're both able to be equal to life, to everything. When you have that ability, again, you're probably going to have to listen to this again because a lot of this probably you aren't going to process and comprehend fully. But, there's a lot of gems in here. And that self-trust, when you have 2 people coming together in that, and you have that agreement, and you both say, we're never going to give up, I don't care what happens, that's when you can really, really create. Because until you get to that point, you will always have doubt, and doubt is like you're making a meal, and there's some poison in the meal. And it doesn't matter how much new ingredients you add, doesn't matter what you do, right? Doesn't matter how you bake it or make it or whatever. There's still poison in there, okay? You got to now hit the point where you're able to remove that poison once and for all. It might mean you need to scrap the whole dang thing. It might mean you got to do some research and, okay, how do I remove this poison from this meal I'm making or from this food I'm making. But really, your life is like that masterpiece creation, that ingredient, those things that you're putting together. But your doubt is the poison and the misunderstandings and the BS that's getting into the mix. And until you get that stuff out and you cut it off through a decision, look up the word decision, look up the root of the word decision, right? Get that education, that real education. Something school could never have done for you. Something that school actually beat out of you is real education. Real education is every single word you can spell, process, and comprehend. So the word decision or decide, the root of it means to cut off. So as soon as you can cut off that doubt, again, not just from some motivated, I'm just going to cut it off, man. I'm just going to get hype. I'm going to be motivated. I'm just going to cut it off just because I can. Doesn't work like that. Newsflash, you're still uneducated. You're still dumb at something, okay? You want to know what real freedom is? Freedom means free from dumb. Okay? Think about that next time you think, I want freedom. I want financial freedom. I want time freedom. You got to be free from dumb. Because when you have the right understanding, freedom comes naturally. Plus, your definition of freedom is off. If you think freedom means having a completely free schedule and nothing you have to do, that's not freedom. Real freedom is having responsibility. And don't worry, you'll still have free time in your schedule to do what you want, but you have the right constraints set up as well. You have the right discipline, right? And that's all part of self-trust, which develops over time. Self-trust will unfold. And self-trust is really a track record of you predictably doing the right things long enough, correctly, consistently over time. That's self-trust. There's an amazing phrase. It's the best definition I've ever heard of the word trust. And it's predictability, okay? I would write this down. Predictability is the foundation of trust. So, can you predict what you're going to do? When shit hits the fan, when things go south, and then they go south again, and it falls apart, and you're tired, and you're frustrated, and you're irritated, and you're bothered, and you're annoyed, and all that stuff, right? When all of that happens, predict. What are you going to do? Are you going to stand up? Are you going to breathe? Are you going to remember to forgive yourself for accepting and allowing that reaction? Are you going to commit to a new way of action? Are you going to use your technotutor and actually process the point so it doesn't come up again? Or are you going to suppress and go, I'll just power through, I'll just muscle through, I'm just going to go, I just need to relax. I need to just go watch Netflix. I got to just go do this thing, go on a run. I got to just eat some ice cream. Right? You will have your habits you will try and fall back on. That's predictable. So developing self-trust, where you can trust yourself in the good times and the bad times to do the best thing. That's what all of my content is all about, is I'm here to do the best thing. I'm not here for mediocrity. I'm not here to just get by. I'm not here to just have an average life. It's not what I'm doing. You can watch some other YouTube channels for that. Watch the YouTube channels that have more views than me. Those ones will probably show you more of the mediocrity. At least for now. I don't know. My YouTube will probably blow up soon. See, but I have self-trust. I'm going to keep making content. And I have self-trust that I know the content is going to be gold. And it's going to be valuable and practical for those who are willing to listen and willing to apply. So again, this video isn't enough. This audio isn't enough. So take this information and now go apply it. Go look at your week, your upcoming week. Go open your calendar. What's in there? Is it the right stuff to get you the goal? Are you using technotutor every day? At least 30 minutes? Are you doing DIP consistently every day? Are you connecting consistently with like-minded people who have real principles? People in the self-perfected group? So if you're not doing that, you're not going to develop self-trust. You might have some form of self-trust, but it's going to be flawed and corrupted. It's like a computer that has viruses on it, and that's outdated. Sure, you can trust yourself to do some stuff, but guess what? That ain't going to cut it anymore. This is 2022 and beyond. The world's changing faster than you've ever seen before. We've never seen a global pandemic. We've never seen a great reset attempted. We've never seen all these changes politically, economically, all of this. We've never seen it before. We've never seen automation at this level. You see what Tesla just rolled out, Optimus, looks like iRobot. That's coming to the world. Economy, AI, automated driving, all that stuff is changing. So what got you here ain't going to get you where you need to go, especially if you have kids. Your kids are going to, they have inherited a very different world. Now, your self-trust needs to be beyond anything you've ever seen, right? Right now, you have little points of inferiority and lack of education. They're subtle. Some are blatant, but some are very, very, very subtle. But they'll get you off guard. They'll catch you off guard, and you will sabotage yourself. And everything you've worked for can collapse. I'm not saying it's going to, because if you surround yourself with the right people, use the right tools, get yourself in an unconscious, automatic level, if you can do that, that is really the foundation for self-trust, right? Because then it becomes predictable that you're going to do the best thing, not just what comes easy. There's a cool quote that you don't rise to the level of your aspirations, you fall to the level of your lowest acceptable standard. You don't rise to the level of your aspirations, right? That's why I don't make Tony Robbins type videos. Oh, you can do it, yeah, blah, 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 all that. I don't care about that. If you want to get hype, sure, listen to that. Sometimes my videos get hype. But I care about what is your lowest acceptable standard, because that's what you're going to fall back on when no one's looking. That's when you're stuck in traffic, or you're pissed off, or you're irritated, or you want to cave and you want to go eat that cookie even though you said you weren't going to eat cookies, or you want to go smoke that cigarette even though you said I'm done, or you want to go watch porn or something like that. That's the real point of change. The point of change is what I care about, because until you hit that point of change, you will time loop and you will do nothing with your life, and you will live in doubt, and you will never amount to anything. And like my good friend JJ Finesser just told me, he said, there's no glory in dying anonymously. There's no glory in dying anonymously, okay? I'm here to do big things. My friends, my colleagues, people in my network, Self-Perfected, Techno-Tutor, we're here to do the biggest thing. Disrupt the most important industry that we have to disrupt on the planet, education. What Amazon did to retail, what Microsoft and Apple did to computers, that is what we're doing with the entire education system, from kindergarten, daycare, kindergarten, preschool, elementary, secondary, high school, college, advanced university, doctorate programs, adult learning, ongoing education. That's what we're disrupting. It is the biggest mission in the entire world. Our destiny is to end child slavery, abuse, and poverty. And I trust myself to do that. Do you? Or are you going to give it to doubt? I can't answer that for you. So what's your answer?